We will now focus on some privatization policies in education. Now, as privatization in education trends develop and become stronger for school, primary, elementary, for college and university education, it is important that policies be in place. What happens in private schools? What happens in private colleges? What happens in private universities? Policies must be laid out. And so, some of the main policies and programs include the following. Educational vouchers. Now, what this simply is these are educational coupons that entitle each student to a prescribed amount of schooling. So, in other words, these are like fee vouchers where you get a 200 rupee voucher or a 300 rupee voucher depending on the need. The parent and the family have to verify the need. Yes, we have 7 children. We can't afford to send all of them to school. Even if it's the cheapest of the private schools, 200 rupees a month means 1400 rupees for 7 children. And so you might get this voucher that entitles you to a certain rebate in the fee. So you go and deposit the voucher at the school, maybe 500 rupees. So then you are responsible for the remaining 900 or so. Whatever system is in place, different institutions will have different policies, different ways in which these vouchers can be used. You might be willing to pay the tuition, but you don't have money for textbooks and stationery, or you don't have money for uniform, and so on and so forth. So vouchers can be applied across the various reasons for getting into education, not just the tuition fee. It can also be applied to buy lunch, because a lot of our children come to school without breakfast, which is not a very healthy activity and practice. And if they don't have anything during the day till they go home, it's a long gap. And when you're hungry, chances that you will work to your best are very low. The schools obtain revenues based on the number of students who enroll. If not enough students enroll in a particular school, that school has to cut its cost or close. Obviously, there has to be an optimum number, a critical mass. Unless we have that minimum number, our operation will not run at par, so at cost, without any profits. If we have less than that critical mass, fewer numbers, we have to really do something to bring those numbers up, or eventually the institution or school will need to close down. Not a good thing. But then, what does one do? See, these are mannerisms in which the private school owners can begin to realize, why are parents not bringing children to my school? See, that's when you begin to reflect and you begin to think, what should I do to make sure that I get the children that I need in my institution? This reflection is very important. Education under a voucher system still involves government funding. In other words, the vouchers or part of the voucher funding can come from the government, part can come from the school itself, where we say, okay, you have 3 children, 1 child on full payment, 2nd child on half payment, 3rd child on 25% payment, and so on. So again, automatically your fee structure has dropped considerably. Or it can be private individuals or organizations that provide. We have 10,000 rupees that we can give you a month, work it out, make your voucher systems work for the students that most need it. It's not open for everyone. By giving parents the power of being able to freely use the voucher, private choices are significantly expanded. So you give the voucher to the parents, use it for tuition fee, use it to buy textbooks, use it to buy a uniform, whatever you need, because these needs have to be met. If these needs are not met, it's not going to work. Vouchers need not cover all the costs of schooling, but may simply serve as an incremental inducement to enrollment. In other words, obviously, no voucher system is going to cover 100% of the cost for educating children. You can't say, okay, now I need money for transport. Now I need money for this. Now I need money for that. It's never, ever going to be 100%. So it's only an incentive to make sure that our children get to schools. In Guatemala, scholarships are targeted at female students whose enrollment rates are typically low. And in our part of the world also, in Pakistan also, educating the girl child gets much more attention and much more funding than it is educating the boy child. Because when you educate girls, you have educated mothers, and when you have educated mothers, you will have an educated generation.